Some days of the year are just better than others. For most of us, that means the holidays. Easter is always good. It's a great celebration of Jesus, but it's also a day full of candy. Christmas is a good day too, full of Jesus and presents and family and yes, candy. Thanksgiving? Well, it's pretty great too. True, there's no candy on Thanksgiving, but there is pumpkin pie. And for some of us, that's even better than candy. On good days like these, being thankful is so easy. When you're sitting down to dinner with the family, when you have a yummy meal on the table, and when you're home instead of at school on a Thursday, you can think of many reasons to be thankful. But what about the other 364 days, give or take? How many of those days are good? How many of those days is it easy to give thanks? It's not so easy to be thankful when we lose the big game, when a friend moves away, or when a pet passes away, or when we get a bad grade. It's not easy to be thankful when families have problems, or someone we love has a bad illness. It's easier to get mad. It's tempting to blame God for those bad days, and those days, that's when we need to be the most thankful. How do I know we can be thankful on bad days? Because some people in the Bible had some pretty terrible days themselves. Job had some bad ones in the Old Testament. He lost his family, his health, and all of his possessions, and yet Job remained faithful. And then there's the Apostle Paul. Paul had lots of bad days, and our scripture today was one. Even on his worst days, Paul stayed thankful. In fact, he was so thankful he helped a ship full of scared sailors and prisoners survive the worst day many of them had ever faced. Acts 27 through 36 says, "When the 14th night had come, as we were being driven across the Adriatic Sea, about midnight, the sailors suspected that they were nearing land. So they took a sounding and found 20 fathoms. A little farther on, and they took a sounding again and found 15 fathoms. And fearing that we might run onto the rocks, they let down 4 anchors from the stern and prayed for day to come. And as the sailors were seeking to escape from the ship and had lowered the ship's boat into the sea under pretense of laying out anchors from the bow, Paul said to the centurion and the soldiers, 'Unless these men stay in the ship, you cannot be saved.' Then the soldiers cut away the ropes of the ship's boat and let it go. As day was about to dawn, Paul urged them to take some food, saying, 'Today is the 14th day that you have continued in suspense and without food, having taken nothing. Therefore I urge you to take some food, for it will give you strength, for not a hair is to perish from the head of any of you.' And when he had said these things, he took bread, and giving thanks to God in the presence of all, he broke it and began to eat. Then all were encouraged and ate some food themselves." Imagine being on a ship in ancient times. There's no modern technology on this boat at all to help you navigate, and no modern safety features either. The weather is terrible. The ship's wood is starting to creak. All the sailors begin fearing the worst. If this storm doesn't end soon, this ship's going to wreck. Now, imagine a man of God who is a prisoner on your ship and seems to have a direct line to God, telling you that yes, this ship is going to wreck. Not only is it going to wreck, but the man of God says everyone has to stay on the ship if they want to live. Do you trust him? Do you trust God? Do you really believe that staying on this doomed ship is the way to survive? Paul kept everyone focused on God. He kept them fed. He kept them together. He kept their eyes on God. Paul showed everyone on that boat that they could remain thankful even on the worst day of their lives. Do you know what happened to the ship and the sailors? Spoiler alert, the ship wrecks. But here's another spoiler. No one dies, just as God had promised. Paul, no one on the ship died. They landed safely on an island and were later rescued. Of course, Paul went back to prison after he was rescued, but Paul continued to be thankful for the rest of his life. He had some terrible days, being locked up and unable to travel and preach, but he stayed thankful as he continued to minister to the people around him, even the guards outside his prison cell. Don't get me wrong, it's not easy being thankful on bad days, but when we stop to remember that nothing can separate us from Jesus, we find a reason to give thanks. When we start to remember all the blessings that God has given us, we can give thanks even more. Thankfulness can help us keep our faith, and it can sustain us in bad times. I hope all of your families have a joyful Thanksgiving, but I pray that all of us will be thankful on Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday, and every day that comes after. I pray that Thanksgiving will be a daily practice for us. Let's be thankful for Jesus. Let's be thankful for the blessings that come on good days and the bad. Let's be thankful for all that God has given us. Let's give thanks on Thanksgiving and every day in the year ahead. See you next time.